So we are past the halfway mark for this very belated Oscar series, and now we have Best Foreign Language Film. And the nominees for that are from Poland and in Polish, Ida, Paweł Pawlikowski. From Russia and in Russian, Leviathan, Andrei Sviaginstev. From Estonia and in Estonian and Russian, Tangerines, Zaza Urushadze. From Mauritania and in French, Timbuktu, Abderrahman Sesako. And from Argentina and in Spanish, Wild Tales, Damien Chiffron. Now, of course, I'm kind of disappointed that our entry from the Philippines to the Oscars this year, Love Diaz's Norte Hangganan ng Kasaysayan, didn't even make the shortlist, when I really think it was good enough to have really kind of deserve the place in the top 5. But as such, this is our list. But before I go on, I have to say that I was only able to watch 3 movies from the 5, so I will not be able to talk about Leviathan or Timbuktu. But among the 3 that I watched, and in terms of who I think deserved the Oscar, at third place, I'm going to put Wild Tales. And right off the bat, Wild Tales is a great looking movie, first of all. That's very, very impressively consistent and sharp visuals throughout its 6 different vignettes. And it's really complemented also by very crisp sound design. And what happens is that there's a lot of really great striking imagery that comes from the movie, despite the movie taking place in like really kind of mundane real life situations. But what really makes Wild Tales very memorable is that it has this really pitch black sense of humor. This is a very kind of violent and like really weirdly funny movie about revenge, and it has very, very intriguing characters in their simplicity. I mean, this is an anthology film with 6 different stories about people getting revenge on other people, and I think the anthology form actually helps explore different aspects of revenge. Everyone has like a different motive or reaction of sorts. So it's really interesting to see that, and it's really helped along by all the sympathetic performances from pretty much everyone in the cast. So you don't really get alienated or anything, and it is extremely well directed. Damon Chiffron has such a unique, very kind of dynamic style, that he really gets to flaunt despite the limited locations throughout the 6 vignettes. At second place, I'm going to put Ida, and Ida is a movie that's all about the visuals, and was also nominated for best cinematography, and really deserved that nomination because the imagery here is just mind-blowing. It's all black and white. It's in that old school 4:3 aspect ratio, and really the visuals here do most of the talking. It's amazing to see a movie like this use framing and camera movement as storytelling tools. And Ida is a very short movie as well, but it's not fast-paced. It's still kind of slow. It has that contemplative pace that I think works extremely well for this kind of story, because it seems to suggest that this really isn't about a plot. Like, if you watch this movie, don't go into it thinking you'll be seeing a lot of events happening over a short span of time. This is really a movie that relies on mood and characters, and the 2 central characters in this movie are very, very worth following. You can really get emotionally invested in them if you really care about where they are. The performances from the 2 lead actresses are very stoic and world-weary, and they really seem to come straight from the 50s. It's a really, really cool kind of time capsule experience. And the direction from Paweł Pawlikowski is extremely unified in vision. Like, you can just tell this guy knows what he wants this movie to be, and it comes off extremely well. And finally, at first place, and who I would have given the Oscar to, is actually Tangerines. And the thing about Tangerines is that it takes place in this tiny, tiny village in Estonia, and the very spare production design really gives off this stage play vibe, but I mean that in a very good way. What I mean by that is that it really helps focus the story on the characters themselves, not the big conflict that's happening around them. It really becomes such an intimate account of these different people in this tiny village. It also has fantastic use of music. The score all throughout is great, and the ending song they use during the credits is just perfect. The editing also in the movie makes you feel like you're watching a play, in the sense, again, that it makes the scale feel smaller, and it really balances all the characters out. You really grow to really care about every single character here, and you don't feel like there's a main character. Strong performances from everyone in the all-male cast. But what really kind of made Tangerine so memorable to me is that it's an anti-war story that does not care about politics. It just talks about the humanity of people, and how, despite our differences in race and political agenda, we're all people equally. And this is helped along with extremely empathetic characters, and the direction from Zaza Urshadze is just extremely natural and just brimming with honesty, and it's extremely powerful once you really let it affect you. But my official prediction for who would win the Oscar was Ida, which of course did win the Oscar because it was the only nominee to get nominated for something else. And yeah, but I was still happy because Ida is still an amazing movie. Alright, so those are my thoughts on the best foreign language film category for this year. What do you guys think about Ida winning? Who did you think should have won? Whatever you thought, whether you agree with me or not, please leave me a comment. Let's have a conversation.